Hello friends, in our previous videos we have seen different agencies of education, that is family, school, community, state. Now in this video let us understand another agency of education, that is peer group. What does peer group means? A peer group is both a social group and a primary group of people who have similar interest, age, background or social status. The members of this group are likely to influence the person's beliefs and behavior. So, a group members in a family of similar age can be a peer group. A group in a playground of similar age can be a peer group, and a group of members in a school are also peer group. Peer group is having certain characteristics. Peer group is an informal agency of education. The members in the peer group have feeling of oneness. They possess we feeling. They work in a unite manner. They have unity among themselves. The peer group members have common interest, common values, common beliefs among themselves, and they are similar behavior in them. Also, the peer group members respect each other's opinions and they are interrelated with each other. Also, they are having high expectations from their peer group members. They work in cooperation. Peer group also develops cooperative spirit among their members. Also, peer group are working with each other, so it also helps to the socialization process. Peer group agency also helps or plays a vital role at the time of adolescent period. Now let us understand another agency of education, that is non-governmental organization. We can call it as a NGO. A non-governmental organization is a non-profit citizen-based group that functions independently of government. NGOs, sometimes called civil societies, are organized on community, national and international levels to serve specific social or political purposes and are cooperative rather than commercial in nature. Now, there are two types of NGO on the basis of level of operation and orientation. So, first let us understand the types of NGO on the basis of level of operation. So, community-based NGO. These NGOs are formed by the community members by taking initiatives like educational organizations, sports club, women's organization are community-based NGO. Then city-wide organizations such as Rotary Club or Lions Club formed to help the poor or weaker sections of the society. National NGOs like Red Cross, YMCAs are the national NGOs which work at the national level. International NGOs like Oxfam, UNICEF, UNDP and CARE works at the international level. Now the types of NGO on the basis of their orientation. First is charitable orientation. Charity-based NGO which works to meet the needs of the poor person, like distribution of food, clothing or medicine, provision of education. Also, such charitable NGO come forward to help the people during relief activities during national and man-made disaster. Now, we are facing this COVID-19 pandemic. So, in such situation, the charitable orientation NGOs come forward and help the needy people about clothing, medicine, food, or some charitable NGOs also made masks for these people. Then service orientation NGO. Such service orientation NGO provides services like educational services, health services, and the community members receive the services provided by these service orientation NGOs. Then participatory NGOs. In this type of NGO, community members are also involved or contribute and provide some fund, needed materials, land etc. This participatory orientation NGOs involves self-help projects. Empowering orientation NGO helps the weaker section to make them aware about their own rights, their own potential and power, and empower them for betterment of their lives. Now, as we have seen, NGOs are non-governmental organization or non-profit based organization, but still government provides some funds to some NGOs for following purposes: adult education, literacy among women, vocational type of education, environmental education, improvement in science education, culture and values, hostel facilities, integrated education, promotion of yoga, language development and non-formal education. Then there are some role of NGO, increase in enrollment. Nowadays we can see that their student enrollment ratio is decreased day by day. So these NGOs aware the students or parents or the community members about their own rights, about the education, and they give them guidance and counseling, and in a way they try to increase the enrollment ratio of the student. Also, these NGOs provide education to the deprived students. Also, they provide adult education, means the people who are deprived because of some or other reason. um, so NGOs provide them education. Those who cannot come to the education, the NGOs goes to those people and provide education to them or attract them towards the education. And in a way, they are trying to improve the quality of education or trying to increase the literation rate of the individual or literacy of the India. Then environmental awareness, development of weaker sections as we discussed earlier. Then source of education, as we say NGO is a agency of education, so obviously this is a source of information. Then vocational training, also NGOs are work in the field of giving education to the special needs students. So while providing the education to the special needs student, the students who cannot work properly like a normal student, this NGO provides vocational type of training to those students. And education for all, so education is a fundamental right of each and every human being. So these NGOs are helping government to provide education or to reach education to each and every people. Nobody from the India should deprived from the education. Then there are some characteristics of NGO. So NGO is a non-profit based organization. It works independently. It is a private organization. It is not a government organization. It works for specific objectives. For each and every NGO, as we have seen different types of NGOs, so objectives of different NGOs to work are different, or they are working for specific objectives. They are voluntary in nature. They are providing voluntary services to the community members, and the scope of these NGOs is wide. That means NGOs can be work on community based, can be a city wide NGOs, can be international NGOs, and can be work at the national level also. So the scope of working of this NGO is a wide. And development of society, so the ultimate aim of this NGO is to develop the society, develop our nation, to improve the quality of education, and to increase the enrollment ratio, to increase the literacy rate of our India. So in a way they have to develop the society or the community members. Also, the last is cooperation. So even if these NGOs are non-profit based, they are working independently, they are giving voluntary services, but still these NGOs are working in cooperation with the government or with the state. As Kothari Commission rightly said, if you want to develop the education or the quality of education, the state or government cannot alone fulfill the needs of the or educational needs of the modern Indian society. So there should be some, or they recognize the role of the NGO or the private enterprise. So these are the characteristics of NGO. So these are some references which I have been used to prepare this video. You can also go to these references, go to visit this site, and thanks.